Alright, back on good old EverQuest. And we're playing the warrior because I need to level him up. And I'm probably never going to use that, so I may as well just get rid of it. Okay, what quests do we have? All of them. Very disappointing. I think it was I was playing Dark Bomb or Dirty Bomb earlier, and just before this, and just lagging very hard. I don't know if it was because I was streaming it, because when I was playing it earlier in the day, it was running just fine. So maybe it was the extra bandwidth being consumed by the stream. Just grind through the Crescent Reach quests. Need 2 more of those. There's a bard nearby. Excuse me. A little bit of haste potion. And ding. What level am I? 11. 2 more levels and I get dual wield. Well, I'm a halfling. Everything's smaller. My shield looks like a serving tray. I was going to stream Dirty Bomb. I tried to, but it was just lagging so hard. I think it was a combination of the... well, I think it was because I was streaming it. Because when I ran it earlier today, it ran just fine. But that was not streaming. Yeah. Halflings are probably the worst class to choose a warrior for. But I like halflings. Oh, excuse me. What do I need? 12 of them damn things? Jesus. Believe it or not, that's a bastard sword, hand and a half sword. A paternally challenged sword. Sorry, let's keep it PC. With the advent of mercs, mercenaries, warriors become easy mode. You always have a pocket healer. No downtime. You just keep killing and killing and killing. I don't want to say easy mode, but oh, good pace. You just keep moving. Makes no sense. Agility and dexterity for a warrior. No strength, no stamina. Honestly, Phoenix, I don't think you'd like it. I really don't. The pace is so slow compared to what you're used to. I think you just find yourself getting bored with it. I hate to say anything bad about the game because, you know, it is one of my favorite games, but just based on what you play on a regular basis, you just find the pace way too slow. Now, it is fun when everybody's on and we're all playing together and whatnot. That is a lot of fun. But the whole, like what I'm doing right now, just the leveling grind and whatnot, I think it would just grate on your nerves so bad. Not that I'm trying to dissuade you from playing the game, but I just don't think you'd have a good time with it. You personally. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay. To each his own. You know. I need 4 more of those teeth. What if you want to enjoy a nice, relaxing evening of gaming? Yeah, he's a halfling. Very low stress, very low pressure. You know, that's the perfect game for it. Not nearly as aggravating as, say, Black Squad. You know, especially when you get on those losing streaks. Something out of monk. Warriors use swords. Monks use fists. Should have made a monk, but halflings can't be monk. That'd be awesome if they could, though. I would totally play a halfling monk if I could. He'll pick up here in 2 more levels. That's when I get dual wield. And then I'll have a sword in each hand. He just turns into a little buzzsaw. Things will just be dropping like mad. I mean, relatively speaking. Fast for EverQuest. Nah, piercing is the piercing weapons are too hard to find. And I'm keeping my one-hand slash up so that when I get dual wield, the skill's already maxed out. Exactly the same thing. No reason to change. Most common weapon in the game for a warrior is a one-hand slash. So it's just playing the odds. Also, modifying it with this little thing, it applies a dot. It's a proc effect that applies a dot. So, it does help speed up the process. Once I'm dual wielding, I'll have my main hand one will be a direct damage stone, and then the offhand one will be a dot. So what's that? 1 more. Oh, that's probably why you had such a bad time. Archers at low levels are a ranger. Probably a ranger. Yeah, rangers don't even begin to use bows before level 40. Even though that's their primary killing skill. Prior to level 40, you just dual wield everything. Once you start getting your AAs and whatnot, then the alternate advancement stuff, that's when your archery really takes off. That's when you get like your headshot and stuff like that. And that's when rangers really become sick, but it's not till way later in the game. Warriors are good right out of the gate. Rangers take time. And that's my oldest character. My oldest character is a ranger. I did it back when it was brutal. But I really wanted to play a ranger. So I did. And now he's level 85. And he's my primary explorer on the Zegany server. If I want to check out a new area, I send in the ranger. Because he has, you know, all the tricks, all the spells for levitation and faster run speed and all that. And you know, as long as this stuff is like 1 or 2 levels below him, he can one-shot it with a bow. With the alternate advancement ability headshot. And you just throw out your root, throw out your snare, and then you just ping, 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 ping. If the root breaks, they're still snared, so they walk towards you real slow. You reapply your root. And As soon as that all-around advancement abilities procs, they're dead. It's literally a one-shot kill. Here they're everything except for the skeletons, you have to attack first. The skeletons, they will aggro on you. This is the starter area, newbie area. And it gets progressively harder as you go up towards that building. But most of the newbie areas have, well, they all have skeletons in them of some sort, and skeletons always aggro. Even if like you're level 105 and the skeleton's like level 2, it'll still aggro on you. Skeletons are just jerks. Well, they got nothing to lose. They're already dead. Still on Bertoxxulous. That's Adso's server. We all came over here to join him. Started from scratch. That was fun. So used to having more cash than I could possibly need. Now when I come over to this server, I'm flat broke. No backup gear. So Zegde, I void character, just holds on to all my gear. It's my my enchanter. I never play him, so I just use him as a mule gear dump. He used to be my bazaar character. So if you have a character in the bazaar, you actually have to leave the character in the bazaar with the client running. At least you used to. I don't know if you still do or not. But you had to leave the game running so that your bazaar character was just sit there and sell your stuff for you. Now they use auction houses and stuff, but they didn't have that back then. Was having a lot of fun on that Dirty Bomb though. That was once I figured it out. First couple games I played it, well, the first match I played, I think it was just horrible. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what roles my characters had. I was playing the gunner, you know, just the general machine gunner was, and had no idea what I was doing. So I ended up dying a lot, just had no idea. And then the second round I actually paid attention a little more and saw that we were supposed to stop the other team from repairing the EV. And then I logged on with the healer character. I'm only level 10 or 11 on this character. And you're going to want to go through the Mines of Glooming Deep anyhow, just to figure out how the game works and everything. Just be warned, there's a very high chance you just won't enjoy it. But the Mines of Glooming Deep is a great way to start. Get you up to level 10 with a full set of gear. And go through the tutorials, all the little people in the main camp. If you have any questions, just click on them and they'll guide you through the entire process. The starting area, the tutorial zone, is really nice for this game. It answers all your questions. Well, at least all the questions you'll have to get started. There's going to be a whole series of new ones once you start getting up in levels. There's no group finder. You just have to use the general chat or whatever to find a group. Oh. But the starting area is fun. There's a nice little story there, you know, if that's your thing. You'll be sick of kobolds and barrels by the time you're done with it. But by the time you're done, you'll have a full set of gear. You'll have 100 platinum pieces in your pocket. And you'll be ready to go. Then you'll come to Crescent Reach and you'll skip all the 1 to 10 quests and just start on the 10 to 15 quests. With a few exceptions, like the there's like a level 1 quest up on the 2nd floor of town that you're going to want to do, because that gives you a waist piece, weapon, shield, and a face piece. So you want to make sure you do that one. That's the only level 1 quest you'll do in Crescent Reach. Disgruntled Boab. I know you probably won't remember that, but I'm always around, so you can ask. Oh, excuse me, good God. Should have just taken the night off and gotten some sleep. Freaking tired. Long day. So I actually think about hopping over to Twitch to do some Black Squad. It's a bit more popular over there than it is on YouTube. But the Mines of Glooming Deep will take you about 3 to 4 hours to get through the whole thing. Nothing in EverQuest is fast. Nothing. Except for bards and their run song. It's just scaled to size. Has the exact same stats regardless of who's using it. Hey Elephant, what's going on? Did you catch that fight last night? Oh, yeah. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. If you want Phoenix to avoid getting... Yeah, nobody's on. Everybody's off doing something else. Start with a monk. You won't be sorry. Takes a few levels for you to get all your abilities, but once you do, your fingers are always moving. So, monk or a warrior? Warrior might be a little easier because you don't have that weight issue. Monks have to keep their weight limit down. The downside to playing a monk is you have to keep your weight below a certain level or you start losing armor class. Warrior doesn't have that. But it keeps your fingers moving. Because you're kicking and punching and jabbing and striking and... Yeah, I tried streaming that Dirty Bomb earlier, but I think because I was streaming it, it was just giving me so much chop, it was unplayable. And that's the excuse I'm using. But no, it really was. It was really laggy. I played it earlier without streaming and it ran just fine, but as soon as I fired up the OBS, it started chop, 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 chop. Level 12. The only problem is I don't have an offhand weapon. I'm gonna have to find one. Oh, they're all fine. It's just the monk and the warrior are the easiest to play right out of the gate. You don't have to worry about spells or anything like that. They're the most durable, and they keep you busy. It's like with the warrior, I got these 3 abilities I'm using all the time. Bash with my shield. Now when I get dual wield, I'll stop using that. Taunt and disarm. And I'm using those just to raise the skills. They don't actually do anything against the bear with no weapons. And you can use the elbow strike too, but that burns up your stamina. So I don't use it that often. It's only 5 points of damage, so it's not really worth it. But there's this actions panel right here, and all your abilities will be there. You just right click and it'll pull up the list of your different abilities, and then you just click on the ability, it'll make a button, then you hold down to lift up the button, and then you put it on your hotbar. Hold down, and then it'll pick it up. And then you got the same for non-combat abilities too. You know, your fishing and sense heading, which you don't need sense heading. Oh, kick! I forgot about kick. Well, actually, this is all your abilities, and then the other one's just your combat abilities. That one's just your combat abilities. Very important box right there. It also has your spot for all your macros and to log out, you know, and whatnot. And the can you see it? No, you can't really see it. The EverQuest button. This has all your Windows and interface stuff all right there. So if you can't find it, open up the EverQuest button. It's probably there somewhere. I'm going to reset my UI before I get all screwed up. Now, there are windows for everything. Alternate advancement. Pretty much every key on the keyboard has a... Okay, I say that and now nothing's happening. Oh, they're all Alt-O, Alt-Q for your quest panel, Alt... No, that's not what I wanted. Alt-K is a music player. It'll pull any MP3s that are on your hard drive and add them to this so you can listen to music while you play. You don't need it unless you tank. I just like to have it. I like to, because you have to use your skills to level your skills. So I just like to keep it max level just in case. You never know. Like, Adso is usually our tank. But he could have a no shit moment and need me to off tank. So as long as my taunt's maxed out, I can pull the aggro off of him. I'm focusing on DPS with this guy. But a warrior's a warrior. You know, best tanks in the game. Better than paladins, better than shadow knights. Glutton for punishment. And just try to have fun with it. So it is a much slower pace than you're used to. It's a very relaxing game. Till you get a second sand giant ad and everything just goes to hell. Let's see, where are you at? 4 more of these guys. I'm supposed to do a private server game today. I was going to do Asheron's Call, but I just didn't feel like doing that. So I broke my own rule. That game will cause you to break out in hives because of the graphics. It's so old. Came out around the same time as EverQuest, but didn't receive quite the graphic upgrade that EverQuest did. And if you really want to punish yourself, no, not yet. Well, you won't be able to until you get a Glooming Deep anyhow. But I will be playing more EverQuest, so a lot more. I love this game. I really do. It's my old shoe. It's that comfy pair of jeans with the holes in the knees that you just can't bring yourself to throw away. I don't know. I'm sitting here rambling. I don't remember anything I just said. I'm just sitting here rambling. Maybe it was the glutton for punishment thing. Because you're trying out EQ. It's bad enough you played Black Squad with me. Oh, you have to get through the Mines of Glooming Deep before you can get out here into the real world. And I strongly advise you do so. You can start in Crescent Reach itself. You can come right out. You just click on the tutorial button when you, or skip tutorial button when you make your character. It's a on-off button. You click it and it turns it off. You click it again, you enter the tutorial zone, which is the Mines of Glooming Deep. But I strongly advise going through the Mines of Glooming Deep just to figure the game out. Crescent Reach doesn't give you all the gear that you get from Glooming Deep. So there are plenty of quests to get you through the levels, but you don't get all the gear. Or the 100 plat that you can start with by looting the barrels and whatnot. Those bows that you loot from the barrels, they sell for 1 platinum piece each. One plat and change. And it really adds up quick. Rogues are fun too, for a melee class, but they really shine in groups. They're not as much fun to solo because you can't use your backstab ability. You can't backstab something that's right in front of you. I mean, you'll get that initial one in if you manage to hide and sneak up behind them. That's assuming the hide and sneak work. But they're really good to group. What's nice about the rogues is if you draw aggro from the tank, you can hide, and you'll shed a lot of your aggro. And then the mob will turn away from you, and then you can come out of your hide with a backstab. Caster classes. Wizard's probably the easiest caster class to play, but the Necromancer's probably the most powerful. But then you have to deal with the pet. Mana. Downtime. That's what dissuades, I think, a lot of people when they first get into the game. I think that's what dissuades them the most, because they want to play a caster or something like that. And any class that has to deal with mana, you're going to have downtime. It's inevitable. So there's going to be a lot of you sitting on the ground waiting for that little blue bar to fill up. And when that's empty, you're done. There's nothing you can do. You can stab them with your dagger, but you know, that's about it. That would be our last bear. We'll kill some more gators on the way over the knolls. I got this all. There's a system. I still need to find another weapon though. I don't even have one for when I get dual wield. It's like an idiot, I destroyed all my starter weapons. And you want to know what the greatest part about EverQuest is? If you need a cup of coffee and you're fighting something, you can just go get it. The fight will continue without you. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It was a long, long day. They're fun. With the Shadow Knight, all your buffing comes from the drains that you do on the bad guys. And you're going to use them all, and you're going to use them frequently. You drain their strength, you drain their armor, you drain their attack, and add it to yourself. Downside is, your pet's not the greatest, because he's like lower level than you are. So he's really just a dot. You can't depend on him to tank. And you got the mana issue. Necromancers have a way around that because they can drain their health to get their mana back. And for a Necromancer, the mana is way more important than the health. Because then they can just life tap and get the health back. Life tap is very important to a Shadow Knight. But with a healer merc, it's not really that big a deal. Used to be the only way you could heal with the Shadow Knight was either bandaging or life tapping. Or waiting. Berserkers are fun. The only downside, as far as I'm concerned with the Berserker, is they only have one real combat ability, and that's Frenzy. Frenzy. That's the pace of a Berserker. They do a lot of damage. Great damage output. But they just, until the later levels, you know, I mean, you use your axe, you throw axes to pull and all that, and their axes do a lot of damage. But Frenzy. It's just like that. Yeah. I got level 85 Berserker. It's pretty badass, but not my favorite character to play. Monk is by far my favorite character to play. Because you stay busy. XR monks are great because they have a built-in natural regeneration. Monks also get a self-heal that you know, it's called Mend, and it restores a certain percentage of your health, assuming it works. It's a skill that you have to keep practicing with. Whenever it's up, you just hit it, whether you're full health or not. You just hit it. Just hit it. But eventually, you get a, with the AAs, you get a Mend that it's just ridiculous. So. They are. They're hated by everybody, though. Except for other Ixars. So the only place you can really... Faction isn't really that big a deal anymore with the Plane of Knowledge. Crescent Reach doesn't have any faction except for Crescent Reach faction. But everybody's neutral here, so... But in a lot of the old world zones, faction is a major factor. So if you take an Ixar to Freeport, for example, you'll get murdered by the guards before you even step through the gate. I'm about to ding again. Need to find another weapon. Yeah. Yeah, ogres are huge. Freaking huge. A lot of dungeons, if you go into a dungeon with an ogre, especially a lot of the older ones, you're constantly ducking, and it really makes it hard to see because they're so freaking big. I come up to an ogre's knee on this character. Top of my head is the level with an ogre's knee. So all of this would be ogre. Trolls are the same way, but they're not as thick. The Vashir are also very tall, the cat people. Those are the three tallest races. Barbarians are tall, but not ogre tall. Ogres are just big and thick. And they're complicated. They have layers. You know. Ogres can be Shadow Knights, though. Pretty darn good tanks, because you can't stun an ogre from the front. If you hit him from behind, you can stun him, but you can't stun him from the front. Draken Shadow Knight? You don't get dual wield on a Shadow Knight, so you either want to use a two-handed weapon for the best DPS or one hand with shield if you're going to be tanking. I'd suggest a two-handed weapon of some sort. Draken, yeah. Oh, Draken get fire breathing too. They're the only race with like a combat racial. Well, ogres get it's kind of like a bash. But yeah, the Draken get fire breathing. There's a series of quests you have to do for it though, and yeah, it's a series of quests because it goes up in level. It gets more powerful, and for each new level, you have to do another quest. Usually involves killing name mobs. Like, there's a bear in the cave up there that I was just in that you have to kill for it. Oh, I hate the shaman. Oh good, he has a weapon. Take his weapon, at least raise my dual wield skill. Of course I'm going to lose the stats for my shield. Makes me sad. Blunt weapons are fine. The damage type doesn't really matter, doesn't really have any bearing. All you're really comparing is the base damage plus any magic damage. You know, if like it's 6 base damage plus 1 magic damage, it's 7 total damage. And the delay. For a two-hand weapon, higher delay means more damage. It means you attack slower, but the damage that you do is going to be much greater. It's some weird formula, I don't know. But for a one-hand weapon, you want speed. Yeah. Well, you like if you're dual wielding, you want. Well, no, you're not going to be dual wielding. You're a Shadow Knight. Swords are just sexier. That's why I prefer swords. They're just pretty. It has nothing to do with any game mechanic or anything like that. I just like the look of them better. But if I'm playing a druid, he carries a stick. You know. Same with my monk. You know, if he's using a two-hand weapon, it's a stick. Ah, no way, he had a weapon. Oh, yep, he did. I was right. Fine steel short sword. It sucks, but it'll get my skill up. I'm losing a lot of stats, though. Oh, got rid of my shield, so I swap out my kick for my bash. Dual wield 2. Yeah, the weapon type you choose is for the most part cosmetic. Whichever one gives you the best damage to a delay ratio. Okay, I'm going to step away for just a minute while my mercenary med's up. I shall be right back. I'm just going to leave stream running. I'm just going to step out for a real quick smoke. Sup, Tequila? Hair everywhere. Alright, let's get back to work. Playing some EverQuest. But I guess you knew that. Can't say that I don't recommend it because, you know, it's one of my all-time favorites. You can run it on a cell phone. Has a lot of depth. Doesn't have a lot of action, as you can see. Have you ever played? If you've never played before, I recommend one of the melee classes. Warrior, which is what I'm playing now, is perhaps most user-friendly. They're very durable. Very little downtime once you have a mercenary following you around, casting heals on you. Which you get right off the bat. And they wear plate mail, so they're very rugged, very durable, lots of health. Oh, okay, yeah. If you don't mind the weight restriction, Monk is also another fun one to play. But with a Monk, you have to keep your weight below 16 stone in the very beginning. So right now I'm at 155. I'm actually encumbered. If you're comfortable playing caster classes, mages are just boom, 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 lots of damage. With the mercenaries, you can get a DPS or a tank merc also. Or, yeah, there's three kinds, DPS, tank, or healer. So if you like playing a healer class, that's an option. Because then you have your mercenary doing all the damage for you, and you just support your mercenary. Really all depends on your preferred playstyle, since you have some experience with it. But I think for just the least amount of downtime, Warrior's the way to go. Because you just keep going. You just keep going, keep going, keep going. No mana to worry about, so you don't have to sit and meditate. As long as your health bar's at least 75%, you just keep going. Yeah, I don't know. I've never played FF11. Um, oh God, you picked one of the worst classes to start with. Shaman are rough. They get so many spells, and you just spend half your time just buffing, 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 buffing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they're not very solo friendly. They're very group oriented characters. Um, oh, and we're on Bertoxxulous. We played. We're kind of taking a little hiatus for the week until next Monday because one of our key players is on vacation. Um, but we're on Bertoxxulous. We play all the time. There's a group of people who watch the stream that also join me in my adventures. Yeah, no matter, it doesn't matter what. Even in World of Warcraft, the Shaman are rough to start out with. They tend to be more complicated characters. They're great buffers. Oh my God, they're great to have in a group because of the buffs, if nothing else, and they're always good backup healers. But for solo play, no. I got one. Never play it. Never play it. Avoid the progression servers. I'm playing on just the regular, like I said, Bertoxxulous. It's just a regular server. Not PvP or anything. I mean, you can PvP, but... yeah, it's like trying to solo with a holy cleric from a WoW. Or a holy priest. Progression servers only go up to certain expansions, and right now there are like only the first 3 expansions are active on those servers, and the gameplay is much slower. You think this is slow? Try playing on a progression server. I think you level a little faster. Oh wow! Well, there you go. I don't know what the PvP is like in EverQuest. It's not as dynamic. I can tell you that. As long as it takes to kill one of the bad guys. Yeah, very much so. That's kind of where they got the idea. Like the P99 server turned out to be so popular that they started putting in progression servers in the retail version of the game. And all those P99 servers are made with the full blessing of Daybreak Games. So. Need 2 more smithy bits. What the hell am I carrying that's so heavy? They gradually add new expansions to the progression server. That's why it's called progression, because they progress through the various expansions, but then it stops at a certain point, and then they'll reset. All left up to player votes. Oh. Yeah, but to just get into it right now, just roll up a warrior. Most durable, they level the fastest. No downtime. The only time on a warrior when you have any downtime is when your mercenary runs out of mana. go through the Glooming Deep tutorial. Just to get all your gear and everything, because it gives you a set of starting gear. Well, you'll end up with a set of starting gear. Hey, no problem. Any questions? I'll be here. You see my character name, just add me to your friends list and shoot me a tell. /T and then the name. We have a guild and everything. Of course, this character's not in it yet. This is the last knoll I'm going to need. I'm going to go kill 2 more gators. Then I can run in and do all my quest turn-ins. Nothing you'll notice. The subscriber benefits are more character slots, the ability to use prestige items, which you'll not encounter until way later in the game. Oh no, you get access to everything, except for possibly the latest expansion. But it's going to take you so long to get to that content. By the time you do, the next expansion will be out, and you'll have access to it. So. Yeah, the penalties for not having a paid subscription are minimal. It's just mainly the number of characters you can have on the server is the biggest one. And there's even ways around that. No, it's one of the easiest games as far as non-subscriber penalties go. Until nearly endgame, yeah. But bear in mind, getting to endgame is quite a haul for EverQuest. Getting up to level 105, it'll take you quite a while. Now you're talking months, maybe. Not a fast-paced game. In fact, I've never had a max level character, and I've been playing since 2000. Off and on, of course, but... I mean, unless you play for like 8-10 hours a day, it'll take you a long time to get to max level. Yeah, Anarchy is an acquired taste. I've played it. I used to play a lot, actually, back when it first came out. Definitely an acquired taste. Not saying it's a bad game, it's just the interface is really bizarre. It's very slow paced like EverQuest is. Neat story there. Don't want to dissuade you from Anarchy Online. In fact, I just reinstalled it not too long ago. But that's much more restrictive on a free account too. So, yeah, it very much is. Oh shit! I forgot to kill the last 2 gators. Oh well, I'll go back out. That's Jinkin. I gotta give those to Jinkin. Where's my bear hide? There they are. And what else do you want? You want the bits. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the people that are still playing Anarchy are very protective of Anarchy. And, you know, that's great. It's awesome. But they don't want a bunch of free players stinking up their game. You know what I mean? And that's all right. They've been playing it for a long time. Very dedicated core group of players. Yeah, yeah. That game has been through the ringer. When it launched, it notorious for having the worst launch of any MMO in gaming history. It was completely unplayable when it first launched because they were under a lot of pressure to get it out, and they kept telling them, "Hey, it's not ready, it's not ready." But they launched it, and I think the server crashed within the first couple hours. Yeah, yeah, that's it. I'm surprised they're still keeping it up. Yeah, EQ2 is a good game. I just don't like it because it's not EverQuest. We've had this whole discussion about EQ2 in the past on different streams, and EQ2 is a fine game. I just wish they hadn't called it EQ2. They would have called it Bob's Fun Time Adventure. It would be a much more enjoyable game. But because it has that affiliation with EverQuest, you automatically go into it, especially if you're an EverQuest player, thinking EverQuest, and it's just not. It's just not. This is EverQuest, and you can't replicate that, and you can't make it better. It is what it is, and it should be that way. It should be that way. I mean, 18 years, still going. Proof is in the pudding. It's a great game. Well, I'm not going to say great game, but it's a good game. Yeah, it was met with quite a bit of hate from the loyalists. Whoa. There's some pricey stuff in that bag. Nice little chunk of change. Happens anytime they try to do a sequel. I don't know why they keep doing sequels to MMOs. You can't do a sequel to... You can do it to a single-player game like Borderlands, Borderlands 2, Fallout, Fallout 2, Fallout 3, Fallout 4. Absolutely, by all means. But an MMO? No, you can't do it. Because everybody expects the original MMO. And you just can't replicate something like that unless you make the exact same game all over again, and then why bother making a sequel? Let the game live and let the game die. There's no shame in that. No, I didn't think it would be, Phoenix. The pace is incredibly slow, and yeah. Especially, yeah, and you chose Shadow Knight too. That's a bad class to start with. Lots of downtime. Well, appreciate you giving it a try. I tried to talk you out of it, but you know, you tried, and that's the important thing. But I totally get it. I totally get it. It's very much. It's the kind of game you have to grow up with. This is all we had back when I started playing. It was this, Asheron's Call, or Ultima Online. Those were our choices. And it's 50% gameplay, 50% nostalgia, give or take. I'll play it until they bring the servers down, and then I'll probably go to a private server, just like I did with Asheron's Call. Oh, I know. And what's the other one? God, I can never remember the name of it. Knock it off. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's bad. What the hell is the name of it? Oh yeah, I played on P99. Asheron's Call has an emulator up right now. It's a work in progress though. A bunch of the players that were still playing when they brought the servers down didn't want the game to die, so they got as much of the DAT files as they could. And are in the process of rebuilding it from scratch, from the ground up. Yeah. EVE Online is totally not my game, but I can see where you'd have a lot of fun with it. There's a lot of good stories that come out of EVE Online. It's a very cutthroat game, good lord. But it's not a game I'd ever play. It's not to say there aren't bad games. Matrix Online, that was a bad game. Everything about that game was bad. But you don't survive 18 years by being a bad game. It's just not a game for everybody. Oh, what the hell's the name of that game? I can never remember the name of it, but go onto Twitch and you'll see like 50 people streaming it. Really old, really primitive. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, you did? Nice. I think I'm like one day away from the Bruiser, the 7-day mech. I got Predator too, actually. Yeah, well, that's what EVE is. EVE's totally an economy-based game. It's all about making money and screwing each other over. There, that's done. Let's kill more gators. The Predator's the sniper, right, Phoenix? Picked one of those up last time I played. Really takes some getting used to, because I'm so used to the running and gunning with the chain gun and the machine gun thing. Bard is a support class. It's very hard to solo with Bard until later on. Later on, you can kill an entire zone with a Bard. once you figure out how it works. And they also have an ability, a charm ability, where you can get the monsters to fight for you, and once you figure out all the macros and everything and the proper usage of the songs, devastating characters. I've literally seen a bard go down to South Korea, herd up the entire zone, and kill everything in the zone. Everything. He just had this big pile of bad guys following him around and playing his dot song and his run song. You know, twisting his 4 songs together. And over the course of like an hour, he killed everything in the entire zone. All at the same time. Well, maybe I'm playing it wrong. The Predator, I mean. I'm pretty sure that's what I picked up. No, I picked up one of the sniper ones. I don't remember. I'll have to check. I haven't been playing nearly enough Hawken lately. Yeah. No, they're incredibly useful. Bards are, especially in groups. Very good support characters. Reaper, that's the one I got. That's the one. Because bards can play up to 4 songs at once. You use a macro. You like create a macro for it, and then you'll stop song will be on your first line, and then melody 1 2 3 4, melody 2 4 6 8, whatever your melody is. And then he'll have all 4 of those songs going at the same time, and you'll be getting the benefits of all 4 of those songs. I have a bard. I love my bards. I got one on this server, and then I got 2 on Zegany. Love playing bards. And if you can figure out how to play them, and play them well, they're incredibly powerful. They're plate wearers. Yeah, yep. Necro is the most ridiculously powerful class in the game. Very solo friendly. Very powerful. You got the downtime because of the mana, but even Necro even avoids most of that. Yeah, Bards wear plate. It's shiny. It's shiny. Very pretty armor. That's my mercenary. She's my healer, Phoenix. Yep. Nope. They wear full plate. Very shiny. Very pretty. That's why, because it's pretty armor. The leather armor is just not that pretty. They get dual wield. You don't use your, depending on what you're doing, you don't use your dual wield very often, or you use it all the time. If you're soloing with a bard, you'll use it all the time. But if you're playing in a group, you always have an instrument in your offhand and then a weapon in your main hand. Yeah, they're fun. They're fun. It takes a little while for them to get started, but once they do, crazy fun, crazy powerful. Yeah. Can't say enough good things about bards. Yeah. Yep. And they're the fastest characters in the game. My God, are they fast? Bards can run so fast. If you have a drum in your offhand, a good drum in your offhand, and you're playing your run song, it's hard to control a bard. They run so fast. You find yourself running into walls all the time because you're just running so freaking fast. I mean, like, it's just crazy. But that's how they're able to kite entire zones, though, because they run so fast, nothing can keep up with them. Not even a druid with his run spell, a Spirit of the Wolf. Not even a druid can keep up with the bard. Crazy fast. My oldest bard on Zegany, on the Zegany server, has like one of the best drums in the game. that a character of his level can wield. And I have trouble controlling them when I'm running. Thank God they get safe fall. That's all I got to say.
Do it!
Jesus Christ, that scared the hell out of me. Thanks for the sub, Tequila. I got to change that damn thing. Every time it goes off, it scares the crap out of me. Oh, yeah, every game that comes out is the WoW killer, and yet WoW's still here. WoW's going to be around for a while. It's a good game. It's a good game. It's well made. It's well put together. It runs well. Oh, good. Good. I'm glad. I am glad. Warms the cockles of my heart to hear that. Not quite sure what a cockle is, but it is very warm now. And if you play on Bertoxxulous, we're on off and on all the time. Or some subset of the group is. You know, it may not always be me, but there's always somebody on. We'll get you into the guild. I actually like what they did with the PvP system in WoW now. Because they're forcing the PvPers to do PvE content, and I like that. If you want the gear, you have to go grind the raids and whatnot with all the other PvE players. Actually, it's the changes that they made to the PvP more than anything make me want to go back and play WoW again. I haven't played since Cataclysm. Yeah. I don't like the new action-based MMOs that are coming out. It's not an MMO. I want that in a single-player game. Sure, absolutely. But I don't want that in an MMO. It takes the focus away from the multiplayer aspect of the game. They're also solo conscious now. That what's the point of being an MMO if you're just going to play by yourself? And this is coming from somebody that always plays MMOs by himself. Yeah. Any MMO is going to have a grind, though. It's par for the course. For me, it's one of the favorite parts. I love going out into a field and just killing the same mobs over and over and over again. But that's me. And the old Final Fantasy games and whatnot, you know, especially on 7. My God, I spent so much time in 7 just running around doing random encounters. Just because. Yeah, I remember that. A few of my friends used to play it, and they were talking about that, how group centric it was. Yeah, I had a lot of fun on that game. They're doing a reboot of it, a reskin of the original game. Same game, it's just with updated graphics and whatnot. I still have it. I still have my. I still have a PlayStation 1 and Final Fantasy 7 out there in the living room. Never play it, of course. I haven't played a console in ages. But yeah, great game. It's the game that hooked me on the franchise. God, I Almost cried when she died. You know what I'm talking about. Oh, really? Oh, that's too bad. I haven't paid too much attention to it, but oh, awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Yep. Everybody that played that game damn near cried when she died. Stupid too. It was cartoony graphics, real primitive cartoony graphics. And yet you just got so involved with the characters. Ow. Yeah, she was. And then they rip her away from you midway through the game. It's horrible. Horrible. And you could really use her for that fucking god-awful Sephiroth battle at the end. Oh, I hated that fight. But I felt like I really accomplished something when I finished it. I think he was talking about 12, Phoenix. FF12. What level am I? Holy shit, level 14. I leveled and didn't even realize it. I think that's one of the few MMOs that I never played. I've at least tried most of them. But I never started the Final Fantasy one. It just didn't seem right. Bloodmaw. Let's see if he drops anything. A boy band. Killing monsters with Justin Bieber. This is one of the name mobs you have to kill for the Draken. You have to get his head for one of your fire-breathing things. Come on, Blood Maw, die already. You know you wanna. Give you a little elbow strike there. I'm killing Blood Maw this time. I went down the cave a little. I actually ran back to town, turned in the quest, came back and picked them all up again. I'm just grinding. I'm not doing anything exciting. I'm just grinding and talking. That's why I like EverQuest. I can sit here in front of a bad guy and kill it and then carry on a conversation with everybody watching the stream. It's so slow-paced. Hell, I can go up and get a coffee in the middle of a fight and come back and it's still going on. I don't think I ever met anybody who even knew what Anarchy Online was before. Oh, you're going to trigger me. I need to go to my safe space. Oh, come on, die already. Now it's just getting ridiculous. Jesus Christ, I've been fighting the same monster for a half hour. Good Lord, thank you. Even I have my limits. Half health. No particular reason. They just look the best in the armor. Female half health. There's no advantage for one race or the other. It's just they look the best in the armor. Nope. Nope. No Froglock bards. What pisses me off is you can't be a halfling bard. It's a natural. Halflings are storytellers. You can be human, elf, Draken, and I think maybe Vashir, but don't quote me on that. Very few races can be bards. Exactly. Halflings should be bards. They're rangers, for Christ's sakes. Halflings don't range. Halflings sit at home and drink beer all day. That's my one gripe with this game. You can't have a halfling bard. D&D halflings, that's different. D&D halflings are very much wanderers. But Lord of the Rings, hobbits, they never leave home. They just sit around and tell stories all the time. And eat. Elevensies. Yeah, but if you want the best looking bard, and you do because you're playing a bard, female half elf. I think high elves can be bards also, but don't quote me on that. I know. I know. I'm gonna write Daybreak a letter. Yeah, 'cause there's only like 3 races that can be bards. And Drakenbard doesn't even make sense. They're too stodgy, too serious. That I can't tell you. I don't know. I tend to avoid the role-playing servers because they make me feel dirty. They try to touch my wee-wee. Just had some. No, it's not like that. But I don't know. It's just weird to me. Just weird. I accidentally joined a role-playing server on what game was it? Star Wars. Yeah. I like the name of the server. I didn't realize it was a role-playing server. Old Republic. Still play on that server. I just don't do any of the RP stuff. Yeah, like, you know, Goldshire. Okay, that's all you got to say about role-playing in MMOs. Yeah. Go on an RP server on WoW, and then go to Goldshire. Your ears will be pregnant before the night's over. Porn, yeah. Yep. Yeah, it'd be fun playing Horde on a role-playing server. I must kill you now. I'm an orc. You're not. You gotta die. Of course, if you play a Tauren, you have to be nice to everybody. Screw that. Too many limits. Role-playing puts you into a category that you can't get out of. And well, yeah. Yeah, the Blood Elves and the Tauren. But even the Blood Elves are merciless. They're just elegant about it. Oh Jesus! Go to Goldshire and get you some of that Night Elf Poo-Tang. I don't know if they still do that or not, but it got really creepy for a while. Do they really, Phoenix? So that's the server I play on. Oh, I know. I played, my main on retail was a female Night Elf Hunter. I always made sure everybody knew I was a dude, though. I just like the way they looked in the armor models. The male Night Elves were always just so lanky. It's like their arms just kind of look like they should just be flopping around. Then they have those big dinner plate hands. Did you ever notice how big the male Night Elf hands are? palm somebody's freaking head with those hands. Yeah. I don't mind the human male models. They look like humans. But the night elf hands are just horribly big. Yeah, the females are graceful. And, no, human female models are hideous. They all look like housewives. Awesome. Alright, have fun, Tequila. Tequila Joe. Sounds like a nice little Midwestern honky-tonk. Tequila Joe's. Every Wednesday, ladies' night. Hey, no worries. Give me a telling game if you have any issues. I'll be on for a while. Yep. It's bears, gators, gnolls, oh my. That's the trinity in this zone. And then you just do it over and over and over again. It's just a grind. That's all I'm doing though. I'm just trying to level him up to catch up to everybody else. I should be playing my cleric actually, but I just didn't want to. Hate leveling cleric. Oh my god, I hate leveling cleric. So slow. No. Now if you get more just by standing in the field and killing. I mean, if you're doing the quest at a lower level than the quest, like if it's if you're level 10 doing a level 10 quest, you'll get a nice little chunk of XP out of it. But if you're level 11 doing a level 10 quest, you ain't getting nothing. I get more for killing a mob. One mob. I get more for killing one mob than I do for doing the quest turn-in. Level 15. Ding. Now I'm going to show you why I never fight the shaman. I'll let my merc med up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to sneak out for a quick smoke while my merc does that. And I'm going to show you why I never fight the shaman. It'll just be a minute. I'm just going to take a couple drags off a cigarette. Because I have an addiction issue. And a coffee. I'm back. Oh, don't say your dad's addicted to tobacco. Say your dad's a smoker. There's not enough respect given to tobacco in this country. And that saddens me. If it wasn't for tobacco, this country wouldn't exist. And that was the main selling point. It was one of the things that they took back to, Queen Elizabeth. Or one of the queens. Queen Isabella. Tobacco in and of itself is fine. It's the additives that the tobacco manufacturers, or the cigarette manufacturers, add to their cigarettes that make them so nasty. That's why I roll my own. Why I don't fight mucktail shaman. They are irritating. Yeah, it was. Natural tobacco isn't nearly as addictive as manufactured cigarettes are. Not nearly. They add extra nicotine to it, just to make sure you stay addicted. I mean, it does have a certain amount of nicotine in it, and there are addictive qualities to it if you over consume. But that goes with anything. Food, you can get addicted to food. But in moderation, there was absolutely nothing wrong with tobacco. In fact, it had a few health benefits. Yes, yes. I agree. He smoked cigarettes too, though. When he was working on a case, he would go get a bag of shag tobacco, and he'd sit up all night and smoke cigarettes, and then in the morning he'd take all his butts and stuff them into his pipe, and then he'd smoke them. You know, they didn't have filters, of course. Sherlock Holmes. That's kind of my thing. Sorry. I think I have 15 copies of Sherlock Holmes anthologies. All the different Sherlock Holmes stories. I collect them. It's one of those things I collect. From various publishers. Read every single one of those stories many, many times. Great stories. If you're ever stuck for something to read, go find yourself a Sherlock Holmes anthology and start reading through the stories. You don't really inhale from a pipe, Phoenix. It's the inhaling that makes cigarettes so damaging. The pipe you just kind of puff. You don't necessarily inhale, and if you do, it's a very shallow inhale. I mean, you still run the risk of throat issues, but throat and mouth, but not nearly so much from into your lungs. You're not supposed to inhale from a pipe. Oh, Moriarty was his arch nemesis. The only guy in London who Sherlock Holmes considered as smart as he was. Actually, smarter. Sherlock considered himself the third smartest man in London, second only to Moriarty, or third behind Moriarty and his brother, Moorcroft. Yeah, you get the best smoke rings from not inhaling, actually. You get a nice mouthful of good rich smoke. And then you just puff it out and you get this real deep, thick smoke ring from it. Yes, God. I didn't mean to attack that second one. I was just on autopilot. I usually just leave the shaman alone, but sometimes you come here and it's nothing but shaman because somebody else has left all the shaman alone too. So you have to kill them. They're just a pain. They cast a poison spell, they root you, they all kinds of things. They're not as efficient. Now, Lord of the Rings is a series of books I could not get through. And you know, I know as a gamer and a D&D player from way back, it's supposed to be mandatory reading. I could never get through the first book. It just, oh man, it was so mind-numbingly, stop singing. Stop freaking singing so much. Why do you have to break into song every other page? And the movie, I didn't care for the movies either. Very unpopular opinion, I'm aware, but I mean, I thought they did some neat stuff in the movies, but I had a lot of trouble sitting through them. Yes, those are fun. Those are fun. I hate that they cast Jim Carrey in the movie. There was a Jim Carrey conversation earlier somewhere. During my noon stream. 'Cause I think he kind of just destroyed the role that he was supposed to be playing. Because the character in the book was nothing. The uncle from the books was nothing like the character Jim Carrey played. Yeah, it's alright. It's alright. I just, Benedict Cumberbatch, opens his mouth too much. I enjoyed the series when I first started watching it, and then, Benedict Cumberbatch started doing interviews and doing tweets. And, it ruined it for me. It ruined my ability to enjoy the show. I hate it when actors and whatnot do stuff like that. Joss Whedon completely ruined Firefly for me because he just won't shut the fuck up. He's entitled to have his opinion. I'm not denying that. But I'm also entitled to not watch his show because he irritates the hell out of me. Alright, Bernie. I'll be here. And it's sad too because I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I thought he was a good actor. I liked his delivery for the roles that he played, as long as he's in the right kind of role. Like, I could see him totally doing a Doctor Who. I could see him doing Doctor Strange. He's playing Dr. Stephen Strange. Hey Joyce, how's it going? Didn't expect to see you on this week. What's it, about 7 a.m. your time? Oh, Lemony Snicket, yeah. No, sorry, I didn't know what you were asking. Oh yeah, I guess it is almost 2 a.m. here, so. Ah, how's vacation going? How's Bavaria? Oh jeez. Me, no. I'm a stay-at-home dad, aka a bum. And I don't sleep very much. So I get 3-4 hours sleep a night, and that's about it. That's 7 hours last night. It just wrecked me for the rest of the day. I slept too much. We have a sick troll on our hands. Yep, it's unavoidable, especially if you cohabitate. He's probably going to go around licking all the glasses to make sure you get it. I managed to make it through the whole summer without getting one of those god-awful summer colds. One free bullet. Is that the one where you have to do the whole thing without using any guns or something like that? I think you were telling me about that. You were trying to do it. Oh, it sounds plenty hard. Yeah. Yeah, they don't aggro. Thank God. Ah. That does sound kind of brutal. Done. Now we gotta go do our turn-ins. I'm gonna use my run-in stick to get there quicker. No halfling bards. Ooh, that makes me so angry. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Better man than me. I would have lost patience. Ah, you don't get that till, well, I don't know, I never played 1. But 2, you don't get that until relatively late in the game either. And, what's next? What's next? And we'll give them those. Ah. Yeah, I've never played 1. I'm gonna have to grab a copy of it and have it go through. Maybe stream it or something. Alright, I'll pick those up one more time. Click, click, click. Okay. Oh, that's alright, that's alright. I don't mind a few spoilers on that game. Now you're talking about Half-Life 1, right? Or Half-Life 2 Episode 1. Alrighty. think I'm going to wrap things up here. It's 2 a.m. my time. I am getting a bit sleepy. There's always another hour of stuff I have to do before I can actually go to bed, but I can't get it done if I'm playing a game. But I thank you all very much for keeping me company. You have a great morning, night, whatever it is for you in your part of the world. And I will be back on tomorrow at noonish. Probably a little closer to 1 tomorrow. Don't know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll figure it out. Have a good night.